On this episode of Carnage, we steal Telfos daily and go nugget racing. This is our 2002 Renault Clio. We bought it from auctions quite a while ago to take on Nugget Nationals, a budget racing championship designed to take the biggest bugbear out of motorsport, cost. A super low budget series. The day we picked it up though, Telfo stole the keys, and now the editor of Street Machine daily drives this thing. Can you believe it? And willingly, he loves it. But even so, we managed to nab the keys off him and take it out to Haunted Hills a few months ago. We missed the Nugget Nationals season last year because, you know, Carnage. But we still had a blast out there. We found out it's a really tight little chassis, and even though it's only a 1.4 litre, actually goes all right. So now Nugget Nationals is just around the corner. Round one actually starts tomorrow at Winton. It's late Friday afternoon right now. So I'm going to put this thing up on jack stands, go through it, change a couple little things, and then we're going to drive it all the way up to Winton, no trailers, and hit the track. All right, so we've got a few mods to knock out on this thing in the few hours we got left. One has already been taken care of. I've already fitted these wheels and tyres. I've got them off Facebook, 450 bucks. We'll keep track of the budget on this thing too to keep it authentic. 15 by 6.5, which is a lot better than the 14 by 5.5 that was on the car originally. Telfo's given the brakes a good hammering on this. And then we finished the tyres off at Haunted Hills. The other big upgrade we have is some brand new springs. Now, being a European car, and we're obviously in Australia, it was a bit difficult to track down aftermarket stuff for this car, especially because it's not the fancy 2-litre Renault Sport version, it's just a POV pack one. But we jumped on iBark's website yesterday afternoon, and these springs were here by lunchtime today, all the way from Sydney down to Melbourne. So very, very impressive. They should give it around a 30mm drop and improve the springiness of it a bit, because it's got a great chassis, but it does body roll with standard suspensions. So these are the Sportline springs. They should give it around a 30mm drop from what I've read, and they should do quite well in this car. We didn't order new shocks because these ones seem okay, and again, it was hard to find anything decent on our time frame. So we'll get it up in the air now. I think I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way with a floor jack and jack stands. A, because our hoists are filled with junkers at the moment, and B, this is a budget grassroots build, so let's do it the budget grassroots way and get our backs dirty. Want to go down anymore? Interesting. Okay. So there's the comparison side by side. There's a fair bit of difference already, and neither of them are compressed, so this one should be a lot easier to get on. Yes, we should run lowered shocks with them. No, I'm not going to this time. There's always room for improvement. Beautiful. That's how you should do it. Close enough. There we have it. Imagine having to do that with normal spring compressors. Not a fan. All right, front suspension's done. I'll change the oil before we drop the front down and then do the rear, which should hopefully be about 30 seconds aside, but you never know. So I went to go drain the sump and lo and behold, more Euro weirdness strikes it again. So it's got an inverted style square plug. Now usually you just stick a half drive in there if it's on a gearbox or a 3/8 drive, but 3/8 drive and quarter drive don't fit. So I had to go down to max performance again and go, what do I do about this? And the internet tells us it's an 8mm square bolt. Now I'll show you that with a 3/8 adapter there. It's a fairly big difference in terms of trying to get some plugs out. So put him on here, slide it underneath, and lo and behold, oh, sump plug comes out. Ooh, she's black. Oh, there goes the washer. I'll have fun digging that out in a minute. So there's your plug. Why is it not a conventional head? I don't know. It's got a few witness marks in here from various people trying to get it off different ways, but it's off. Good thing too, because the oil is looking a bit black. So we'll throw some nice Valvoline in there with the filter, which I'll show you in a minute, which is hilarious. And then we can move on to the rear suspension. So if you're wondering why we have a Renault Clio in particular for Nugget Nats, we were just browsing the auctions looking for cars that fit the bill. So the rules are you can't spend more than $3,000 buying the car, and it cannot be more than 1.5 litres. So that's one of the reasons why this isn't a Renault Sport 2 litre, but mainly because we weren't really looking for a Renault or anything specific. We were just looking for cars under 1.5 litres, manual. You can't have a turbo car, nothing fancy. And this just sort of popped up. We went and had a look at a Toyota Echo and a Fiat Punto. And then I spotted this out of the corner of my eye and we looked over it, and there was really no reason not to buy it. It was fairly clean. It was relatively cheap. I think we ended up paying $1,500 for it, and it had 6 months rego on it still. And it hasn't let Telfo down yet on the daily commute, and you've already seen us thrash the hell out of it at Haunted Hills, and it survived. So, and I'm actually happy because while it's got weird quirks, the chassis is quite good. I used to race a Hyundai Excel, which used to be a laughing matter. Now there's a real series with them. And comparing that to this stock for stock, this feels much tauter and nicer to drive compared to that. So as long as it stays as reliable as a little Nundo, I'll be very happy. So we'll throw some fresh oil in it now with a new filter. Okay. And I think it's going to leave a nice big mess everywhere, yeah. Carefully extract. Ugh. Ah. Look at that. Lots of different filter shapes out there, but that's a first for me. You'd think being that small would be nice and easy to get to, but they still managed to make it difficult somehow, so that's all right. We'll throw a new one on there and see how it goes. Engine mounts seem to work. A nice thing to have in a car. I really don't want this filter to blow off in the middle of nowhere at Winton, because I'm sure that getting another one on a Saturday afternoon in country Victoria is not going to be much fun. Some Valvoline 1050. Let's see if I can get this in with the easy pour, or if I'm going to get it everywhere. Easy pour for the win. This is always the fun part, putting the bolts back in. Stay. Oh, for God's sake. Boom, front end done. We'll drop it down and start on the rear. All right, time to see how much lower this thing is going to be. Oh yes. It's not going to win any prizes at Fitted Festival, but it's not too bad. So time to do the rear end. Should be nice and simple, this one, hopefully. This is just another one of those typical straight beam axle cars, much like you would have seen on the Barina if you've watched that episode. Let this side down slowly. Don't know how much tension this spring's going to be under, but only one way to find out. It might not come out till the other side's undone, but give it a go. Yeah. Does not want to know about it yet. There goes one. Is it going to come out easily? Hello, friend. Tolvo's not going to know what hit him the next time he gets in this thing, especially after driving around in a VN all week. This is going to be fun. Holding these two at the same time. If I get it up high enough, and I'll put the other one in at the same time. Okay. This is really a two-person job. That's not going to sit there either. Okay. Come on. Fit. Fit. Just being a prick. No. Stop. I've had to sub in the apprentice to help out. Okay. That's looking like it's somewhat there. Beautiful. Check those by hand and then we're done. Okay. All right, drop her down. Once I remove the jack stands, because I'm an idiot. Oh yeah, she's a little bit lower now. That's not bad for 460 bucks. So we'll head up to Winton now and see what we can do. So we're here, the Nuggets made it. Winton Motor Raceway here in Northern Victoria, and I'm really excited. So far it feels good on the road with the new springs and wheels. How competitive it's going to be, I don't know. There's a huge variety of cars here. It's a record turnout for round one and record turnout for Nugget Nationals ever. So there's lots of variety. Slammed ED Civics with massive aero and stripped interiors and big wide sticky wheels, and then there's this. But that's okay. I just want to see how hard I can push myself. How competitive it is, we can always improve it later. So we'll hit the track shortly, go chat to a few people as well, and just really enjoy the day. Alright, so first session done, pretty happy with that. It was just sort of a run-in session, see how we go. According to my live timing here, my best time is a 2:01.58, so not super fast, but is what it is. So the goal for the next session now will be to break in under the 2-minute barrier. Car's not hot at all. It's I'm pulling in and it's nice and cool, it's running well, not overheating brakes. The balance is good with the new tyres and suspension, so we'll head out for the next session shortly and see if we can get under that 2-minute barrier. After my first go out on track, I decided to wander around and have a chat to some of the competitors about why they choose to do Nugget Nationals.
My name's Matt Doyle. I drive a Mazda 121 from 1995.
Hi, my name's Dylan. I am driving this 97 Mitsubishi Mirage.
Hi, I'm Ying. This is my 2002 Toyota Eco Sportivo Big Block. The Nugget Nationals is a fun, cheap motorsport series. We created it to get really all kinds of people who didn't think they had a cool enough car to go to track, and basically prove a lot of people wrong that you can have fun in a Holden Barina or a Toyota Eco or a Nissan Micra. Basic rules of Nugget Nationals is the car has to cost under $3,000. We need it to be under 1.5 litres. No rotaries, no turbo or supercharged cars, and that's pretty much it. So there's a cap on modifications. So we don't want the drivers to modify the cars too much because we really do want it to be just about driving and seat time and enjoying being on a track. So when we first started, basically we started because our actual track cars were broken, but we didn't want to stop tracking. So we thought we'll get cheap cars, we'll create a series out of it, see if anyone joins us. If nothing happens from it, that's fine, we'll go back and track our other cars. We started doing it and then everyone's like, that actually looks like a little bit of fun. Like, I've got a Barina sitting in the backyard or I've got a old Corolla sitting in the backyard. So over the years, we're standing here today at Winton in 2020 and we had actually over 40 Nugget entries. So that was pretty awesome.
You can hone your skill, you can go out with nearly no budget, and you can throw the car around and it doesn't matter if you come off the track. If you've got your nice Porsche and you come off the track, it's going to cost you some money, I think, if you drop a wheel. Whereas this, I'm not afraid to crash it. I can go down to the wreckers and buy another shell for about $50.
So we built the car pretty much sponsored by Facebook Marketplace. We found everything we wanted through there. Luckily, it's parts are compatible with Lancer CEs, so there's plenty of those out there. We got lucky, we bought a Lancer CE donor cart. So from that we got a Recaro, we got a harness bar, a few engine bits and bobs, and we sold a whole bunch of the parts as well. Bought some high quality wrap for $80 from a guy's warehouse. We watched one YouTube video, had a few beers, and this is the end result.
We're not about throwing heaps of money at the car, we're just about driving basically and having fun.
With the bar set after the first session at a 2:01, it was time to head out for the second session to see if I could beat it. So session 2 done. Good and bad news. Car's fine for starters. I broke into the 2-minute barrier with a 1:58.52, so that's awesome. Only issue with that though is it looks like I am the slowest car on track because it's all ranked in order, but that's okay. We'll see if we can go a little bit faster in the next session. I clearly needed some more pace, so I went and chatted to a few of the regulars to see if they had any advice.
Seat time is the biggest thing. Just going to tracks, just being in it makes a huge difference. I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years now, and just the difference in years alone from just being in the car has made seconds difference, which doesn't sound like much, but in a race car, that's huge.
With a Nugget, you can't hide behind like a big turbo or just big CCs to pull you out of a corner. It's really a momentum game and you've got to keep up the speed and just ruthlessly abuse and chuck it into a corner. Unfortunately, sometimes you get a bit too ruthless and you end up with a massage side of a Toyota Eco. Thought I could counter and correct. That doesn't work in a front-wheel drive car.
Last year I won the championship. I was pretty stoked on it. It was a huge deal for me. I've been in this thing for quite a few years, and there's some fast people out there. So when you work at something for so long and you're finally able to come out on top, it makes you pretty happy.
So it sounds like the best way to improve my pace is actually just to get back out on track and get some practice. So that's exactly what I did. So that's it, round 1 of Nugget Nationals, done and dusted. Pretty happy with this little thing. I mean, I wasn't that fast at the end of the day. I don't think I got much better than a 158-ish, mid 158, but it's still in one piece, didn't crack a sweat all day, ran nice and cool, didn't cook the brakes. Maybe I just wasn't driving hard enough. But anyway, here it is. It's done, it's awesome. I can already think of a few things we need to do this, mainly a seat, maybe a slightly better seat belt, maybe some slightly grippier tyres too. But we'll assess that soon, and you'll see that all on a future episode of Carnage.